Hey, how y'all doing out there? I got some old crazy news for y'all. Shannon Sharpe and Diddy allegedly had a thing going on. They found these selfies of Shannon Sharpe that he allegedly sent to Diddy. Now it's all starting to make sense. They both in the same type of trouble. They both did apologies. They both about to be spending the rest of their life in jail. It seemed like they got some type of freaky deaky soul ties together. They was throwing all white parties. And when I say all white, I ain't talking about people wearing white clothes. They had all white girls at them parties. But you know what they say? Laugh now, cry later. They was laughing when the freak off was going on. Now they both crying and apologizing for what they did.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy. Going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
It's kind of funny how both Diddy and Shannon Sharpe did the same type of apology. And hearing that they had a thing going on, did Shannon Sharpe reach out to Diddy? Did he write him a letter in jail and ask him how he should approach the situation? Because they both got in trouble for doing the same type of thing. Then they both came out with these weak apologies. It's known by now that they all run in the same circle. But me, I feel like Cassie need to be held accountable for being with the diddler for over 10 years. You can't tell me she didn't enjoy them parties and wearing all that expensive stuff that he was buying her. You can't tell me she didn't enjoy being in the limelight. Like she ain't have no fun while she was with Diddy. And as far as the girl that was with Shannon Sharpe, reading her text messages, it was looking like she was having the time of her life. It's sort of like Cassie and Gabby was with the same person because they did the same type of apology.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All these people coming out talking about they met Shannon Sharpe at the gym or they met him at a football party. They too embarrassed to admit that they met him at a Diddy party. That's the rumor that's been going around for a long time. It says here that somebody sent the tweet that's now deleted. They said Shannon Sharpe's bodyguard claims that he met his girl at a Diddy party when she was only 17 years old. People don't want to be implicated in what's going on with Diddy because if they do that, then that's saying that they are Jane Doe or John Doe. They trying to capitalize off of what's happening with Puffy. And when Shannon Sharpe did his apology, he made sure he didn't say nothing about Diddy. He mentioned Jay-Z, but he ain't mention how Tony Busby got Diddy caught up in the situation too. This girl, Gabby, she ain't meet him at a gym like they saying she did allegedly. They saying that he met her when she was 17, not 19 years old at a gym, but 17 years old at a Diddy party. And this lady right here, she allegedly met Shannon Sharpe at a Diddy party too, but she trying to make it seem like Diddy ain't had nothing to do with it.
We met in actually the press room at the Broncos, April of 2002. And we dated until the 2010 incident. And then it came to abrupt end because I wanted, we were arguing and he was threatening me and stuff like that after, but I didn't see him again after he me. So I had said no. And I said no, even though I was thinking that. And so it was the hardest. Yeah, this is too hard.
I don't know if that lady lying or telling the truth, but I don't see why she would put her face out there and mention the fact that she was in a relationship with a black man and that he took advantage of her, unless she want that type of criticism every time she step up in the Whole Foods. But I already knew that Diddy liked dark chocolate when he was messing with Kim Porter, but I thought he moved on to French vanilla. Not only because he was with French Montana, but he was with Jennifer Lopez. He moved on to Cassie. I figured he ain't want no more dark chocolate. But the rumor is Diddy got involved with Shannon Sharpe. They was sending each other selfies. They was partying with each other. They was throwing all white parties. And I ain't talking about everybody wearing all white clothes. I'm talking about all white women at these parties. And French Montana was the main dame at the parties. Recently, they ran into him and they asked him a couple of questions. He was going along with the flow. And then when they asked him about Diddy, he acted like he had ants in his pants and ran up out of there.
French Montana? It's French Montana. Hey, what's up, French?
What's up?
How you doing, man? What's been new with you, man?
What's going on?
Hey, are you gonna go to the Met Gala this year?
Oh, it depends.
But you're usually there, right? You've been
Yeah.
there a few times. Do you know what this year's theme is?
What's that?
Black tie. So it's like a black tie affair.
Yeah.
How would you approach that to be different? Men were used to be seen in black ties. How would you approach that?
Well, when I went there, I wore my dashiki.
You did?
Yeah, I was dressed like I was in the Middle East.
Nice, nice.
I went there a couple years ago, but all black tie, you throw a nice little black suit,
Now I gotta ask, man. This year's been crazy.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Diddy at all? No, I hear you. Hey, French, take care though, man. Be easy, bro.
Watch now, French Montana's bodyguard presses him.
I'm just asking if you talked to Diddy.
Is that live or is it recording?
It's recording.
Don't put that last part.
They're pissed about that last part. Be careful of what? Be careful of what? Honestly, I'm not scared. What are we scared of? I'm not. This has to stop.
To you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear friend, happy birthday to
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
This is a special birthday for both of us.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, the whole year is love. It's first birthday. I started a new chapter in my life, and you did too. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You ain't had a drink in a year. You know what I'm saying? You look phenomenal. And this is called the Ciroc Water Cheers. So I drink Ciroc. You don't drink. How do we cheers? With your water and my white grape Ciroc. It's called Two Kings Clinks. It's called Two Clinks.
The things that people do for money and fame. Diddy turned that man into a Lego block. Y'all see the way his belly was sitting up on him. Diddy bought him a six-pack, bought him a chest, gave him a BBL like Drizzy. Diddy had that man like a puppet, and he went along with everything. And now that Diddy in the situation, he want to act like he ain't never known that man. And it's sad when comedians get a hold of this stuff, especially comedians like Eddie Griffin. He got a new podcast. He going in on Shay Shay. When Shannon Sharpe first got his podcast, it was Eddie Griffin talking about Shay Shay, gay gay. And people was looking at him like, well, it is 2025, Grandpa. It's the norm for people to live alternative lifestyles and things, but Eddie Griffin ain't having it. He old, he's still cracking jokes. And now that there's rumors about Shannon Sharpe sending selfies to Diddy and vice versa, y'all know Eddie Griffin had a whole lot to say.
Shannon Sharpe. Boy. This little 19-year-old girl, she said this mother smooth text messages, phone calls, $25,000 per cheek. That's an expensive butt. That's an expensive ass right there. $25,000 per cheek. Here in Las Vegas, the going rate is about $375. $25,000 per cheek. Well, that must be lined with gold. Shannon, you're just not that sharp. ESPN let him go, the little mouse. Disney owns ESPN, so that's why they had to let him go because, they're a good, clean, upstanding company. Wink, wink, child molesting freak motherfuckers. Anyway, the rat with the gloves don't want no fingerprints left anywhere, so they had to let him. You should have listened to Monique.
Let me tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old.
Told you to stop dating them young white. Should listen to Cat Williams.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go. Come on, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
No. But you just a hard head motherfucker. You got football head, see. You've been busted in the head too many times. You should have wore a helmet, you helmet head motherfucker. I done said this joke a long time ago. I'ma say it again. Rich niggas and white women don't go together. There's a long track record. OJ killed his white woman, still had problems to the day he died. Tiger Woods married one, and she left with damn near $500 million. Tiger way better than me. That'd have been a dead on my watch. Ain't a thing on earth worth $500 million. I don't think y'all heard me, smelled me, or felt me. Let me reiterate this statement one more again for you. There ain't a pussy on earth worth $500 million. Now, it might be some $375 pussies. $500 million, I'd have took that fishing. That's why billionaires have yachts. What happened to her? She fell overboard. Them great white sharks chewed her white ass up. How come they didn't bite you? Because the shark is racist. That's why they call them great white sharks. They only eat white people. You don't believe me? Interview the shark. How come you didn't bite those?
I don't eat dark meat. It's tough. They fight back.
I lost a lot of teeth that way. Bill Cosby was potentially in jail for life for 73 of the oldest, ugliest white women I have ever seen. Tight end. Tight end, like that tight end. Played the right position, boy. Tight end. Like that tight end. You can catch that football. But now you done caught a case. Play your position, I said. You like to play in your position. They done made a doll of the and a little white. You know what I mean? He can join his hero, LeBron James. These Barbie doll ass niggas. Lakers in 5. Oh, yeah, they lost. Lakers in 5. They lost. And you lost your job. I'm just saying. I know I shouldn't be kicking a man when he's down, but what better time? He's a big motherfucker. I gotta wait till he fall down. Then I should kick the shit out of him. Make no sense. Don't kick a man when he down. Well, when else you supposed to kick a motherfucker? When they down.
I believe it take two to tango. Shannon Sharpe was involved with some people the same way Diddy was involved with some people. But what about the people that went along with what these men had going on? They make it seem like these women is helpless. Like they couldn't make no decisions on their own. Like they didn't want to participate. Like it wasn't consensual. Like Cassie wasn't seen with this man in public. They making it seem like he was holding her hostage and she just couldn't get away. What he did in the elevator was wrong. What he did in that hotel room, if they want to lock him up for that, just say that then. But all this extra stuff is unnecessary. As far as Shannon Sharpe, just go on and put them people in jail and throw away the key, because having them in the news like this just making us all look bad. And then you got people like Terrence Howard telling his side of the story. And people respect Terrence Howard. I was raised up watching his movies, Hustle and Flow, Dead Presidents, you name it. So when he talk about these people in Hollywood getting down like this, all I could do was shake my head, because he acting like he not a person in Hollywood.
My friend said to me, rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, or until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive after, because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray.
What is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff was wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of they had a thing called breaking the buck, where they would take, not to go in a bad place, but this is how I see what's happening, the parallels with what's happening, correlates what's happening in the business. If they, back in the times, if they had like some 12-year-old that was just full of himself and confident and, wasn't listening, they would tie him to a log or a barrel, and a bunch of the overseers would rape him, to where when he walked around with the slaves now, he didn't have the confidence.
Sure.
He was broken, and it was called breaking the buck.
Wow.
And that's still taking place. And so to hear that people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into the music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. Perform on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire about some of the people in the business. And Petey Pablo, you remember Petey Pablo?
I know who that is.
Petey Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called His Own. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for Petey Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Oh It's On, they did not care. They went all in on it.
People making it seem like having fruity booty entertainers in the entertainment business is something new. But Terrence Howard letting it be known. He telling the world what's really going on. I thought Marvin Gaye just had the last name Gaye. I heard about his father being zesty. He was a pastor too, used to wear leggings and stuff and beat Ray Charles's ass at night when Ray was asleep. Ray wake up swinging, don't even know what's going on. Marvin Gaye's father was a freak, but we ain't know that Marvin Gaye was gay. I heard some crazy madness about Marvin Gaye being a serial killer. And they swept that under the rug. They said he was crazy. I don't want to believe that stuff, but just by hearing that stuff, I don't want to listen to his music no more. Every time Marvin Gaye come on hollering and wailing, I turn that shit off. Cause I imagine him doing all the weird stuff they said he did. Now, wherever there's smoke, there's fire. But why would they want to ruin his legacy like that? And then Terrence Howard came out and said that Marvin Gaye was really about that life, and ain't nothing wrong with that, but we just ain't know nothing about that back then. Well, I ain't know, But now that I know, it's hard listening to old school because Smokey Robinson, all them brothers was zesty with them Jerry Curls tight bell bottoms, hip hugger pants on. Pretty Pink, Baby Blues, Andre 3000's forefathers. I had no clue that them R&B legends and them people back in the day was on that time. Now it's all starting to make sense. James Brown doing splits and things. What was that all about? It was a bunch of weird stuff going on, and Terrence Howard exposed it.
The biggest mistake I made in my career was Smokey Robinson brought me out to come have dinner with him, and he wanted me to play his life. And I just had conversations with Lee Daniels about playing Marvin Gaye, and I was like being faithful.
Marvin Gaye was like, you would have been perfect as Marvin Gaye, and that is a story that needs to be told.
Let you know what happened with that. I was over at Quincy Jones' house. I'm not dropping names. I'm just giving credibility to what I'm about. What I'm
never
saying.
Drop names. De Niro told me that.
Yeah. So, but I'm asking Quincy. I'm hearing rumors that Marvin was gay, and and I'm like, was he gay? And Quincy's like, yes.
Oh.
He went around it with everything, and I was like, no. And I'm like, I could not.
I just feel like there's gay for real, and then there's a point where guys get so much pussy, they're just like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, well, it would have been that, but they would have wanted to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Well, you mean you couldn't kiss a guy on screen in a movie?
No.
Not even, yeah.
No, because I don't fake it. I literally, it has to.
I couldn't kiss a man either. That's true. And that
would fuck me. I would cut my lips off.
Yeah, no. Well,
I would.
Okay,
if I kiss some man, I would cut my lips off.
Well, I would not do that. But it does not make me homophobic to not want to kiss a man. Just like lots of gay men are like pussy, yuck. You know, I mean, that's okay. We all have our own, no one wants to tell you how to.
Do what you love to do, but don't do it at me. Don't aim it at me. And I can't play that character.
Right.
100%. I can't surrender myself to a place that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And so that's the end part of that story of what I had to let go.
I can understand it. I'm just not of it. I mean, I could certainly understand men attracted to men. I mean, homosexuality is in nature. Animals. There are many, many, many animals.
Yeah, the bonobos, the bonobo monkeys. They practice it.
Practice it.
He sure know a lot of stuff about fruity stuff not to be fruity. I'm just saying, he got the whole encyclopedia in his head about when it comes to zest. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section. Enough of Terrence Howard. You got football players, ex-football players, professionals in sports going in on Shannon Sharpe, letting the world know that he made the biggest mistake of his life because he's supposed to be a leader and an example for the younger people coming up. He let his peers down. There's a bunch of admirers that love Shannon Sharpe, and I'm an admirer too. Not like that. I don't admire the way he wear his clothes. I admire the fact that he a brother that made a name for himself and was doing positive things. As far as we could see, he did get messy with that Shay madness, but you got to give the people what they want. If Tyler Perry could make $1 billion being Medea, Shannon Sharpe figure, hell, he could make $1 billion being Shay. It's a bunch of brothers out here on Instagram, TikTok, wigs on, lipstick, high heels, trying to make people laugh just to get them views up. If that's what's working, niggas twerking. Hey, don't hate the player, don't hate the game. But you got people coming out here letting it be known that Shannon Sharpe was dead wrong for doing what he did.
To whom much is given, much is required, right? And once you've reached a certain stature, it's like the old folks always used to tell you, boy, don't let that money go to your head, right? And now, a lot of times, people just are who they are. And you're looking at Shannon, his brand has never really been anything that said he might not be into some of the things that we're learning, right? You could go back to the IG Live, or you could listen to some of the things that he promotes as sponsors of his show, or just certain ways he talks about women during nightcap or whatever it is, right? Like, Unc ain't never hid that. And that's not illegal, though, right? And like I say, people are gonna feel how they feel about the age gap and what that means to them, right? My preference isn't that. If I have, and I do have a 20-year-old daughter, my preference for her, my advice to her, the things that I will and will not be comfortable with for her aren't that, right? I wouldn't be comfortable with my daughter who is 20 dating someone his age, but that's also not illegal. When you start getting tied into some of the things he is being charged with, accused with, or has allegedly done, no man wants to be associated with those things that's not his intent and that's not his heart. And so my biggest thing for him is if these aren't actions that are of him, I hope that he's cleared of them. Right. And then for the young lady, if these are things that has happened to her, you hope that she's able to process that and in some way feel like she has been not only compensated, but that she has sought and found the justice that she's looking for. But it's like you said, period. It's just a bad look. Whether it's the text messages, whether it's the voice messages, whatever it is, it's a bad look. And it's a testimony for these young men who are getting their name called tonight to keep your nose clean, watch your front, watch your back, and surround you with people who truly support you. That's your family, that's your friends, that's the woman or significant other you choose. Because those people, a lot of times, will bring you down more than you'll bring yourself down. And I think that's what we're kind of witnessing here. A man who's at the height, talking about getting a $100 million deal, and now you're dealing with this. It's about decision making, bro.
They about to put Shannon Sharpe in jail right next to Diddy, because that trial about to be happening real soon. And once they get done with Diddy, that's when they gonna lean in real good on Shannon Sharpe. He free now. He doing his podcast the same way Diddy was free for a little bit. And then his lawyers convinced him that it would be best to turn himself in. Oh man, it's gonna be a sad day, but hell, that's news, that's politics. These older men need to leave hip-hop culture alone. Shannon Sharpe was safe when he was up there with Skip Bayless, only talking about sports. Now he talking about rappers. He talking about all these different types of entertainers. He should have stayed in his lane. Diddy should have got him an old woman and sat down. That's what it all boils down to. These brothers should have found somebody their age and left it at that. But they all over the place doing what they've been doing. Then allegedly, they sending selfies to each other. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. I got so much love for y'all. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And one more thing, subscribe to my channel if that's what you want.
Subscribe to my channel if that's what you want. But if that's not what you like, then you must be a punk. Hold on now, here we go. Who is this girl? She got that junk in her trunk. Baby girl, back it up, poke out your rump. It's S.A.T that you want.